this is kind of interesting. Longtime Browns beat reporter Tony Grossi with a wide receiver trade target for the Browns.
One name that continually is popping up, like when anybody does a potential, this guy could get traded, this guy could be on the move, is Brian Thomas Jr. He's been linked to the Browns through some of these. He's a type of player that Andrew Berry's been, looked to trade for before. Do you think the Browns would make an actual run at trying to trade with Brian Thomas Jr.? We know the Jags and Browns have a deep history of making moves together. It seems like something is leading the Jags to moving off of him. I'm not sure the reason.
Yeah, I don't know. When he was a rookie, we played Jacksonville. He had a really good game. He was their best player on offense. Now, the reason I think it's a longer shot than some of the veteran receivers, because he's going to be more expensive. He was a legit first-round pick, I think top 15 pick. He's still in his rookie contract and hasn't reached his potential at all. I mean, this is compared to Tyreek Hill or Brandon Ayuk, Brandon Ayuk, and even the guy in Minnesota you mentioned, Jordan Addison.
Yep.
I think Andrew's looking to trade, but that's why he collects fifth-round picks, to be able to use them as trade currency, not a second-round pick or a first-round pick. And I don't know what the price tag will be for Brian Thomas Jr., but it's not going to be a fifth-round pick. It's going to be higher than that.
Jake, new offensive system, Liam Cohen came in, and Thomas hasn't been as involved. That's the only thing that kind of pops out about him.
Yeah, it's a really weird second-year regression in terms of going and getting footballs over the middle. He's more of a vertical route runner. It's a really weird discussion. I think he's very talented. He's gifted. He can run. He can get open. He can chase deep footballs downfield. And that's a lot of what he did in his first year. I think they asked him to do a little bit more, at least from what I was seeing. It's not like I'm honed in on Jacksonville all the time. Obviously, we followed them more closely than ever last year because of the draft pick the Browns had, and obviously just seeing what Travis Hunter was doing and the like. But it felt like there were issues with him willing to do the dirty work at the position, go get the football over the middle while taking a hit, being able to do the blocking elements of the position. I don't want to speak confidently on something I haven't really dug into too far. Here's what I'll say. He's a high investment for them. I understand a different regime, but a high investment who clearly can produce. First year shows a guy that can really produce. He's young, gifted, young quarterback in place there still, and Trevor Lawrence, an ascending team. Them being very willing to trade him would be a little bit alarming to me, because you would want to continue. I understand like some offenses thrive a little bit more with role-playing wide receivers than maybe dynamic top-end talent, but you should always be able to find answers to get that guy the football. So if it came down to the thing to remember is that we know the Jags don't have their pick. We know the Browns have it. So how hungry is Jacksonville to get into the first round again would be interesting, right? And personally, do I feel comfortable taking him at 24? At this point, I don't have the answer to that, swapping 24 for him. You do know that he's in the third year now of a rookie contract. So it comes down to would you rather have at pick 24 a Denzel Boston, for example, out of Washington? Would you rather have Casey Concepcion out of A&M? Like some of those guys in that range, or if maybe even one of the top three names falls down there. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have Brian Thomas? Well, on one hand, he has proof of concept, a 1,300-yard rookie season, very dynamic, but a second year where he takes steps back and now franchise wants to trade him. You can see where that's a bit conflicting. You would have to really have done, like the Browns would have to have done a lot of research on him, talked with him, know him well. And as we know, the Browns weren't in that first round, so how deep in the weeds did they get? Now, just because a team isn't in the first round doesn't mean they're not doing top 30 visits, interviewing players at the combine, spending time with guys for this exact reason. Browns like to do it as every other organization likes to do it, because these guys eventually do become free agents. They do become trade candidates, and having an established relationship helps. I can't speak to any of that. I don't know. I do know he's talented. I do know I understand being interested in him. I don't know if I'm comfortable at 24, probably more comfortable at 39, but I would think Jacksonville would hear 39 and be like, we're not interested in moving him for the 8th pick of the second round. So it's tricky. It's tricky. He's good. It's just a matter of like third year of a rookie contract versus a rookie on a rookie contract. How good do you feel about that versus the other? It's it's something you have to weigh there. And I don't have really the answer to that, but I do know I understand both perspectives of why Jacksonville would prefer to get back into pick 24 range and certainly have a first round swing again with their specific set of front office decision makers and head coach different than when he was selected, right? And then obviously I would understand the other side of that coin where the Browns are looking at that and being like, why are you guys moving this guy who's really there's got to be something up. So not sure I answered it very well, but that's where I would kind of I'd be a little mixed feeling on that whole thing.